Spain head coach Luis de la Fuente explains why Lionel Messi continues to inspire an entire generation of footballers, while also highlighting the remarkable progress of Lamine Yamal after his performance against Portugal. FIFA refereeing chief Pierluigi Collina responds to the controversy surrounding several decisions in Argentina's dramatic match against Egypt. Morocco goalkeeper Yassine Bounou shares his admiration for Messi following Argentina's incredible comeback, and Luka Modrić offers an honest perspective on what it means to carry a national team at the age of 39. Before we get started, let us know your thoughts in the comments. How would you rate Argentina's comeback victory over Egypt? And what are your expectations for their upcoming clash with Switzerland? If you're passionate about Lionel Messi and want to stay updated with every major story from the tournament, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest videos. Luis de la Fuente, the head coach of Spain, addressed the media ahead of his team's World Cup quarter-final against Belgium. During the press conference, he spoke not only about Spain's preparations, but also about two players who have attracted worldwide attention for very different reasons: Barcelona sensation Lamine Yamal and Argentina captain Lionel Messi. Discussing Yamal, de la Fuente emphasized that the coaching staff is focused on helping the young winger continue his development without placing unnecessary pressure on his shoulders. According to him, players with exceptional talent often attract enormous expectations, but the priority is making sure that excitement never turns into anxiety. He believes Yamal still has another level to reach and is convinced that supporters will witness even more of his attacking quality as the tournament progresses. The Spanish manager also pointed to Yamal's contribution away from the ball, something he felt deserved greater recognition. Against Portugal, the youngster spent long periods helping his teammates defensively, particularly when dealing with the dangerous runs of Nuno Mendes. Although those defensive responsibilities limited his attacking opportunities, de la Fuente viewed the performance as another sign of the teenager's maturity and willingness to sacrifice for the team. In his opinion, the speed at which Yamal learns from matches of this magnitude reflects an outstanding mentality. When the conversation shifted toward Lionel Messi, de la Fuente spoke with clear admiration for the Argentine captain. He explained that despite everything Messi has already achieved throughout his legendary career, his passion for competing remains as strong as ever. Watching him play, de la Fuente said, "It is difficult to believe he has spent so many years at the highest level because his desire to fight for every match still resembles that of a young player just beginning his journey." The Spain coach described Messi as an example for footballers of every generation. Talent alone, he suggested, is never enough to remain at the top for so many years. What separates the greatest players is the mentality to keep working, to keep improving, and to stay hungry after winning nearly every major trophy available. For de la Fuente, Messi continues to demonstrate those qualities every time he steps onto the pitch, making him a role model not only for professionals, but also for countless young players dreaming of reaching the highest level. He went on to explain that commitment and determination are qualities no tactical system can replace. In his view, Messi continues to teach valuable lessons simply through his attitude, showing that discipline and consistency are just as important as natural ability. That, he believes, is one of the biggest reasons why younger footballers continue to look up to the Argentine icon. De la Fuente also praised Gavi, describing the midfielder as another player whose mentality perfectly represents the standard Spain wants to maintain. He highlighted Gavi's relentless ambition, saying the young midfielder always plays with the desire to achieve something special for both his club and his country. Beyond his technical ability, the coach believes Gavi's competitive character and determination make him an important figure for Spain's future. For de la Fuente, the combination of experienced leaders and fearless young talents is what gives Spain confidence heading into the decisive stages of the World Cup. While emerging stars like Lamine Yamal continue to grow with every match, experienced figures such as Lionel Messi remain the benchmark for professionalism, dedication, and the relentless pursuit of excellence that defines the very best in football. Attention then turned to the officiating discussions that followed Argentina's dramatic encounter with Egypt, a match that sparked intense debate among supporters from both sides. With several key decisions becoming the focus of conversation across social media and television, FIFA's head of refereeing, Pierluigi Collina, stepped forward to explain how the tournament's officials approach these challenging moments. Speaking after the conclusion of the round of 16, Collina reflected on the demanding workload referees have faced throughout the expanded World Cup. With significantly more matches scheduled than in previous editions, he acknowledged that every decision receives enormous scrutiny, particularly during the knockout rounds where a single mistake can influence the outcome of an entire tournament. Even so, Collina expressed confidence in the overall standard of officiating. He explained that referees constantly review their performances, work closely with instructors, and analyze every important incident to improve from one match to the next. According to him, perfection can never be guaranteed in football, but preparation, professionalism, and consistency remain the priorities for every official selected to work at the World Cup. The Italian official also addressed the growing criticism directed toward referees after controversial matches. He stressed that open discussion about decisions is a natural part of football and something FIFA fully expects. However, he drew a clear distinction between healthy debate and accusations that question the honesty or integrity of match officials without supporting evidence. Collina warned that irresponsible claims can have serious consequences beyond the football pitch. Referees and their families, he explained, should never become targets because of controversial moments during a match. For that reason, he urged supporters and commentators alike to separate disagreement over a decision from personal attacks against the officials responsible for enforcing the laws of the game. Another topic that received significant attention was the role of the video assistant referee system. Collina took the opportunity to explain how VAR reviews goals during major international tournaments, emphasizing that every scoring sequence is carefully checked before play officially resumes. He clarified that officials do not simply analyze the final touch leading to a goal. Instead, they review the attacking phase that created the scoring opportunity. If a foul or another important infringement is discovered during that sequence, and it has a direct influence on the goal, the VAR team can recommend an on-field review. Rather than relying on a fixed number of seconds or a specific distance from the goal, officials evaluate whether the earlier incident had a meaningful impact on the move itself. To illustrate the process, Collina referred to several situations that generated discussion during Argentina's meeting with Egypt. One incident involved a challenge that many supporters believed should have resulted in a foul. He explained that if video evidence clearly shows an infringement overlooked by the referee, VAR has the authority to intervene and recommend another look. He also discussed another late incident that produced strong reactions from both sets of supporters. In that situation, officials determined that the defender had made legitimate contact with the ball before the players collided naturally during the continuation of play. Because the contact was judged to be a normal consequence of a fair challenge, neither the referee on the field nor the VAR team considered it sufficient to award a foul. By explaining these situations publicly, Collina hoped to provide supporters with a clearer understanding of how referees interpret difficult moments under the current laws of the game. While not every decision will satisfy everyone watching, FIFA believes that transparency and communication remain important steps toward helping fans better understand the reasoning behind some of football's most controversial calls. Following Morocco's exit from the World Cup, goalkeeper Yassine Bounou turned his attention to Argentina's dramatic victory over Egypt and reserved special praise for Lionel Messi. Although his own tournament had come to an end, Bounou admitted that Argentina's comeback left a strong impression on him, particularly because of the way Messi responded after facing adversity during the match. Speaking in a post-match interview, the experienced goalkeeper described Messi as a player whose influence goes far beyond his technical ability. In his view, what stood out most was not only the quality of Messi's football, but also the composure and leadership he displayed when Argentina found themselves under enormous pressure. Bounou pointed out that many players struggle to recover mentally after a disappointing moment during a match. However, he felt Messi showed exactly why he has remained one of football's greatest competitors for so many years. Instead of allowing frustration to affect his performance, the Argentine captain quickly regained his focus and continued leading his teammates until the final whistle. The Moroccan goalkeeper also praised the determination shown by the Argentine squad throughout the comeback. He believed the players never stopped believing they could turn the match around, and that mentality was reflected in the way they continued attacking despite falling behind. For Bounou, Messi's leadership played an important role in maintaining that confidence during one of Argentina's most difficult moments of the tournament. He went on to describe the current version of Messi as a player who appears completely focused on helping his team rather than carrying the burden of outside expectations. According to Bounou, that freedom has allowed the Argentine captain to express himself naturally on the pitch while continuing to make decisive contributions in crucial matches. Bounou added that watching a player of Messi's experience continue to perform at such a high level is something every football fan should appreciate. Maintaining that consistency over so many years requires extraordinary dedication, discipline, and passion for the game, qualities that continue to define Messi's career even at this stage. Before ending the interview, the Moroccan international congratulated Argentina on reaching the next stage of the competition and wished the squad success in the matches ahead. He also extended his best wishes to several Argentine players he has come to know throughout his career, expressing his respect for the team's fighting spirit during the tournament. Although Morocco's World Cup journey ended earlier than they had hoped, Bounou's comments reflected the admiration that many professionals continue to have for Messi. For him, Argentina's comeback against Egypt was another reminder that experience, resilience, and leadership can become just as important as talent when the pressure is at its highest. As Argentina moves one step closer to the final stages of the World Cup, the spotlight naturally falls on Lionel Messi once again. Every match seems to add another unforgettable chapter to a career that has already inspired millions around the world. Yet for many experienced players, the most impressive part is no longer the goals or the assists. It is the consistency, the leadership, and the determination to keep competing at the highest level after so many years. Among those who can truly appreciate that challenge is Luka Modrić. Having spent nearly 2 decades performing at the elite level himself, the Croatian captain understands better than most what it takes to remain competitive as the demands of international football continue to grow. Every tournament brings faster opponents, greater physical intensity, and even higher expectations. Staying at the top under those circumstances requires much more than talent alone. That is why experienced players often speak about football in a different way. They know that managing energy has become just as important as creating chances. Every sprint, every recovery run, and every high-pressure moment must be carefully balanced over the course of a long tournament. Success is no longer determined simply by ability, but by making the right decisions at the right moments. For Argentina, this reality creates both an opportunity and a challenge. Messi remains the player capable of changing a match with a single touch, a perfectly weighted pass, or a moment of brilliance that few others can produce. His presence gives confidence to everyone around him, but it also reminds the team that major tournaments are never won by one player alone. The strongest championship-winning teams are those that share responsibility across the entire squad. Defenders must remain composed under pressure, midfielders need to control the rhythm of the game, and attackers have to take advantage of the opportunities that are created. When every player contributes, the burden on the captain becomes lighter, allowing him to influence the game in the moments that matter most. That balance could become increasingly important as the competition enters its decisive phase. Every remaining opponent will present a different tactical challenge, and every mistake will carry greater consequences. Argentina's experience will undoubtedly be one of their greatest strengths, but maintaining the physical and mental freshness of their key players may prove just as valuable. Regardless of what happens next, Messi's performances continue to remind football fans why longevity at the highest level is so highly respected. Remaining decisive year after year demands sacrifice that is rarely visible outside the training ground. It is built through discipline, preparation, and an unwavering commitment to improving, even after achieving almost everything the sport has to offer. With another crucial match on the horizon, all eyes will once again be on Argentina. Can the team continue its impressive run while sharing the responsibility across the squad? Or will another unforgettable moment from their legendary captain steal the headlines once again? The next chapter is about to be written. If you enjoyed this analysis, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Argentina has what it takes to lift the World Cup? And what role do you expect Messi to play in the matches ahead? If you don't want to miss our next football story, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next video.